United 380 heavy, traffic 11 o'clock, 10 miles southbound out of 10,000.737.
380 heavy, search.
For the 2460, traffic 12 o'clock and 7 miles heading eastbound out of 7 for 10,000.767.
Looking for him, Delta 2460.
I'm heading to LaGuardia, a primarily domestic airport where passengers are excited to get to destinations like Florida or Tennessee or Texas. But once we leave the ground, we are interwoven into a complex fabric of flights going to destinations beyond. As I approach LaGuardia in New York, 165 people in New Jersey have one thing on their mind: the southern Italian region of Puglia. They, like me, are about to enter the terminal. So let's enter the terminal here at LaGuardia, where I explain the details of my flight.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I've got a flight out of LaGuardia today, and you're joining me. All right, I'm inside the beautiful Terminal C, and today I've got a flight on a Boeing 737-800 LGA to PBI. I like the 800. Big windows. I'm so tired of those A321s. I'm happy that they're using a 737-800 on this route today. Just give me one moment. I'm going to go through TSA. I'll be right back with you.
What a great view of the ramp today, and it's especially great because we've got
The Delta A321. Thank you, aircraft out there. Always nice to see that. I see that airplane wherever I go these days. Nice paint scheme.
I wish Delta painted more planes with special paint schemes. This is a one-off. Thank you, Delta, for something different to look at. Today, runway 31 is the departure runway, and here we see an Embraer 170 taking off with a Southwest 737 about to enter runway 31 from taxiway Zulu. Here we see a Delta A220 waiting for takeoff clearance on runway 31, and as I pan the camera up and to the right, I see a 737 from Dallas-Fort Worth on a left downwind leg for runway 22. Arrivals and vectors from the south are kept behind runway 31 so they don't interfere with the runway 31 departure path. In a moment, this plane will turn left around the Bronx and line up with runway 22 for landing. How far out it goes on the downwind leg depends on how many planes are ahead of it. Just before this plane lands, while outside of a 2-mile final for runway 22, the tower issues takeoff clearance to an Endeavour Air CRJ 900. It's now time for the 737 to land. By the way, this isn't just any 737. It's the 737 that will be taking me to Palm Beach today. So I'm going to walk over to gate 77 to get ready to board it. Here it is. As I wait for the DFW passengers to deplane, I caught a glimpse of the thank you plane taking off on runway 31. As do all flights taking off on runway 31, they turn right after takeoff. We'll be making a right turn like this once airborne. Here's the 737 I'm getting ready to board. Over in Newark, a 767 bound for Bari, Italy, is also boarding. That aircraft will be flying to a northeast departure fix, while our flight will be flying to a southern departure fix. Since we're departing at the same time today and we are north of Newark, we'll need to head south toward Florida, and our paths will cross.
I'm headed to the rear of this Boeing 737-800 series.
My seat selection criteria are a well-aligned window and the side of the plane that provides the best views. Since our departure fix is white and runway 31 is the departure runway, Manhattan will be on the left side of the plane as we turn right after takeoff, then turn left toward the south towards White, which is in Ocean County, New Jersey. It's a standard seat selection for me. I love the 737's large windows, and I'm grateful I'm not on the dreaded A321 again with smaller windows. As I look at this Republic Airways Embraer painted in the rare Republic paint scheme, the jet bridge has been removed and we're ready for pushback. We won't spend too much time on the ramp as our gate is near the taxiway system. We simply move backwards via tug so our noise is eventually pointed out towards the taxiways. Over in Newark, New Jersey, the same action is occurring at the same time on United Flight 380. These are two separate flights in two states going to completely different destinations in two countries. Once our tug is removed and the engines are started, we call LaGuardia ground control for the route to get to runway 31.
Ground, good afternoon, Delta 2460, lane 12, short of Alpha, ready taxi with Golf.
2460 LaGuardia ground, runway 31 taxi Alpha short of Kilo.
31 Alpha short of Kilo, Delta 2460.
We're told to take taxiway Alpha and hold short of Kilo. This takes us away from runway 31, but as you can see, a left turn onto Alpha brings us to the end of the departure line. A few seconds later, we're told to use Kilo as the taxiway to turn around onto to get to Bravo, behind a Southwest 737, which we can see.
2460 taxi Alpha Kilo Bravo behind Southwest.
Alpha Kilo Bravo behind Southwest, Delta 2460.
So it's that Southwest 737 that we follow to the runway. That plane is going to the end of the line, and we're basically going to follow it all the way. We taxi on taxiway Alpha in the same direction that we'll be taking off in, 314 degrees, which is the runway heading of runway 31. Once on Kilo, we'll make the U-turn and taxi in the opposite direction of runway 31. While taxiing out, now is a good time to discuss the climb. All departures turn right on an assigned heading. Today, our assigned heading off of runway 31 will be 355 degrees. Our pilot has received this information in the clearance to Palm Beach, and as soon as we lift off, and it's safe to do so, we'll be making a right-hand turn from runway heading to 355. Different flights will get assigned different headings in the clearance phase of flight. The initial altitude to climb to is 5,000 feet as published. Now, over at Newark, United 380 will take off on runway 22 right, which is to the south, but the controller will issue it a series of turns to the right, ultimately ending on a 70-degree heading north of the airport. 70 degrees will point the aircraft toward Upper Manhattan, and by the time it reaches that point, the controller will have us positioned to fly to the south. Now that we're close to takeoff, it's time to switch to the tower frequency.
Delta 2460, monitor tower.
Tower does 2460.
Now, over at Newark Airport, United 380 has also been handed off to the tower after a taxi to runway 22 right. Yes, both planes are ready for takeoff. Here at LaGuardia, the tower is going to issue the Southwest 737 takeoff clearance, and we're going to be told to line up and wait on runway 31.
Southwest 2989, company's on a 2.5 mile final 22 and 31 for takeoff.
31, clip takeoff, Southwest 2989.
2460 to go right tower, and if you want to line up and wait, up management 22.
31, line up and wait, Delta 2460.
At the very exact time that we're told to line up and wait on runway 31 at LaGuardia, United 380 is being told to line up and wait on runway 22 right at Newark. Here's Newark Tower telling United to do so.
United 380 Heavy, Newark Tower, runway 22 right at Whiskey, line up wait.
22 right at Whiskey, line up wait, United 380 Heavy.
We're both taking the runways at the same time. United 380 Heavy will get takeoff clearance once the previous departure is airborne and there's no crossing traffic on the ground from aircraft that landed on runway 22 left and need to cross runway 22 right to get to the terminals. We'll get takeoff clearance on runway 31 once the arrival on runway 22 lands and is just about to cross our runway with another plane on a 3-mile final, which is enough for spacing. Look out in the distance for the arrival landing on runway 22. It's now time for United 380 at Newark and us, Delta 2460 at LaGuardia, to get takeoff clearance. First, I'll play the transmission for United, and then the transmission for us.
380 Heavy, wind 3104, runway 22 right at Whiskey, clear for takeoff.
22 right at Whiskey, clear takeoff, United 380 Heavy.
All right, it's our turn. Here comes our takeoff clearance.
Delta 2460, next arrival, 3 mile final 22, runway 31, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff 31, Delta 2460.
Okay, we're both taking off at the exact same time. The timing could not be any more perfect. Remember that we'll be turning right once we're airborne, and even though United will be turning right after takeoff, it'll wind up on a heading that will bring it towards us when we're headed south. Once United 380 Heavy is airborne, the tower will tell the pilot to contact New York departure. That will be a frequency for Newark departures. Once we're airborne, we too will be told to contact Newark departure, but on a separate frequency for LaGuardia departures. The controllers are located in the same building in Nassau County. Okay, United 380 is up, so we're going to hear him get the handoff to departure control and then check in with departure control where he'll get clearance to 6,000 feet.
United 380 Heavy, contact New York departure, good day.
Over to approach, United 380.
It's time to check in.
Newark, United 380 Heavy, 600, 2,500,
United 380 Heavy, hello, your radar contact, on the 6,000.
6,000, United 380 Heavy.
It's now time for us to be handed off to and check in with our departure controller as we climb to 5,000 feet.
Delta 2460, contact New York departure.
Departure Delta 2460.
Let's check in.
Departure Delta 2460, climbing 1.5 for 5,000, heading 355.
Southwest 2460, New York departure, radar contact.
Now, United's controller is going to issue a turn to United to 290 degrees.
United 380 Heavy, turn right, heading 290.
Right, 290, United 380 Heavy.
Back on our frequency, we're getting cleared up to the maximum allowed altitude for flights to the south, 12,000.
Delta 2460, climbing Zune 12,000.
12,000, Delta 2460.
Back on the Newark departure frequency, United gets a turn to the northeast.
United 380 Heavy, turn right, heading 040.
Right, 340, United 380 Heavy.
Right turn heading 040.
Sorry, right turn 040, United 380.
The 40-degree heading points the nose of the United 767 in the same direction as the Hudson River. Our current heading, which remains the same since we took off, gives us an excellent view of most of the island of Manhattan. With those clouds up there, we're going to have to take in the view now because once we turn to the south, the view will be limited. Now, as United 380 continues to the north, it actually enters the same airspace as LaGuardia departures, so the controller asks United 380 to switch to the frequency that we are on.
United 380 Heavy, contact New York 120.4. 120.4, United 380 Heavy.
Once United checks in on our frequency, 120.4, both our pilot and the United pilot will be able to hear each other. This is good since we'll come close. United 380 will also be given the local LaGuardia altimeter setting. Let's hear United 380 check in with our frequency now.
New York United 380 Heavy, 3,700 climbing 6,000 and the right turn to 040.
United 380 Heavy, New York departure, LaGuardia altimeter 3003.
3003 United 380 Heavy.
United is still being kept to 6,000 as we climb to 12. To proceed towards its departure fix and cross the Hudson, United is now given an east-northeast heading of 070, and we get turned to the southwest.
United 380 Heavy, turn right heading 070.
Right turn 070 United 380 Heavy.
Delta 2460, turn left heading 210.
Left turn 210, Delta 2460.
The headings of 070 and 210 are the headings that we will be on when we cross paths. This is exciting because there's not much to see down there. Our left turn to the southwest is based upon how much traffic is headed to our departure fix, and if traffic were lighter, we would have been turned at a lower altitude closer to Manhattan. We've moved into New Jersey for this turn. Now, the controller will have United 380 pass below us, and since we've climbed a lot, United can now get clearance up to 8,000 feet.
United 380 Heavy, climb maintain 8,000.
Climb maintain 8,000 United 380 Heavy.
Now, remember, we're climbing to 12,000 feet, and at this point, I'm typically looking for flights to JFK that are passing overhead at 13,000 feet, but today the focus is down. By the way, through the clouds, we can see the Hudson River, and beyond it is Manhattan. It's a poor view day. In a moment, seeing that we're climbing higher, the controller will climb United to 10,000 feet. 10,000 feet is the highest allowed altitude for flights that are headed to the northwest in this particular airspace. Once United gets switched over to the next controller, he'll get clearance to a higher altitude.
United 380 Heavy, climb maintain 10,000.
Climb maintain 10,000 United 380 Heavy.
Okay, we're getting close to United, and United's getting close to us, so it's time for the traffic point-outs. The controller will tell United that we are a Boeing 737 in the 11 o'clock position, climbing out of 10,000 feet, and she will tell us that United is a Boeing 767 straight ahead at 12 o'clock at 7,000 feet.
United 380 Heavy, traffic 11 o'clock, 10 miles southbound out of 10,000, Boeing 737.
380 Heavy, search.
Delta 2460, traffic 12 o'clock and 7 miles heading eastbound out of 7 for 10,000, Boeing 767.
Flight for him, Delta 2460.
Neither pilots will ever report each other in sight, but they're flying, and I'm not, and I know exactly where to look. United 380 should be passing slightly ahead of us and slightly below us, so I'm looking directly under the wing. There it is. I see it. That plane is going to Italy. Just think about the passengers on that plane. In 9 hours, they'll be eating fresh seafood and orecchiette pasta. Some may take a dip in the Adriatic, and others will be visiting the Trulli homes of Alberobello. But I'm not going there. I've got a view of the concrete jungle where dreams are made of. What a view. Both our flight and United were handed off to the next departure controllers, who had each of us fly to our initial departure fixes. United went to a fix called Merritt in Connecticut, and we went to a fix called White in New Jersey. The graphic on the seat back shows the initial route we took out of New York City. Our flight follows the eastern seaboard southbound until we reach North Carolina, where we fly over the Atlantic Ocean all the way down to Palm Beach. Today, we'll be landing on runway 10 left, which means that in order to land, we'll have to head inland a bit for several miles and then turn back around to land toward the ocean. Let's complete our flight.
All right, everybody, I have made it to the Palm Beach International Airport. Thank you so much for joining me on this flight from LaGuardia to PBI. It was a joy to take off on runway 31, something that doesn't happen very often. And that United flight to Bari was spectacular to see from the air. Well, I'm going to end this video here. Remember that I'll be back with another video just like this real soon. So if you haven't done so, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell button. And I'll see you on an airplane again. Thanks, everybody.